Welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. This is Ghostware38, and today I'm bringing you another video. In this one, I'm going to be diving into the world of author and real-life spy John Le Carre. What you see here is just a sample of my collection so far. I have here a couple of his books that I picked up from my local Barnes & Noble quite recently. The one here on the top is his first book, and this is the one that introduced the world to his famous character George Smiley, Call for the Dead. As you can see the bookmark here, I'm still working my way through chapter 1. Here's a bit of the synopsis on the back of the book. I have listened to a couple of really good audio dramatizations with, I'm probably going to butcher his pronunciation, or his name, Bernard Hepton as George Smiley. He did both an adaptation of Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy and of a book that I don't have at this time. It's of Smileys People. And there was one with Peter Vaughn of the Honorable Schoolboy. Those are kind of in like a trilogy. I've seen it referred to online as the Carla trilogy. And here's, of course, the main one, the Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. It's another George Smiley adventure. Going into it without going over too much of the story, because I would highly encourage anyone to pick this up and read it for themselves, or to listen to the audiobook of it. But I will also put the audio drama in it. Having listened to the audiobook of the novel and the audio drama, it follows the book fairly. The audio drama follows the story of the book fairly well. The mini-series done with Alex Guinness does the same. The movie, on the other hand, tells the story and not so much as expands on it, but it does its own thing while telling the story of the book. But yeah, here's the book itself. His handler and boss, Control, is dead. There's a power vacuum with a faction of agents in the circus, which is their version of British intelligence, basically all vies for control, and they get rid of Smiley, and he basically does his own job and investigation, and finds out there is a mole and a traitor within the circus, and he basically takes it upon himself, with help from some retired agents and a couple other characters, to basically solve why Control, because apparently either Control was murdered or Control died. And they're basically trying to find out why and what had happened, because there was a mole and a traitor within the circus. This was also based on the real-life incident of a traitor within the intelligence community at the time by a man named Kim Philby. And the author Ben McIntyre did a book on him, Kim Philby and the Great Betrayal. John Le Carre, with this version, provides some material on that. There is a Kim Philby stand-in in this movie, at least from what I've heard some other people say, because I watched the movie first before listening to reviews or anything, about it. Now, I enjoyed the movie personally, but I can definitely see why people prefer the Alex Guinness series. And that's also, fun fact is interesting, is George Smiley is actually very different in here than how we see him in the rest of the books. In Call for the Dead, in the beginning of chapter 1, he is described as short, as a fairly short man, but he's also, for the lack of a better word, just to say fat. He's a short, fat man, rather than the tall, lanky version that the films portray. The elements and events from Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy kind of transfer over to 2 books after that. The ones which I referenced earlier in the video, The Honorable Schoolboy and Smileys People. It's essentially kind of like a trilogy. And the one I have here on the bottom, this is The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. This was made into a movie with Richard Burton that was released through the Criterion Collection. I have that. I have watched it several times, and I've enjoyed it. The scene here on the cover is indicating a scene that happens very early on and within the first chapter itself. Without going in too deep, basically what happens here is that there is a man trying to cross the border during the Cold War. Alex Guinness's character is waiting on the other side with the American, not so much like American border guards. While he's crossing over on a bike, he is running, and the Russians shoot him as he's crossing over, as he's fleeing, and Lemus basically watches him die. George Smiley does appear in the book. I cannot remember to what extent. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch and read the book. Anyway, yeah, here's this one, and here's the back of it. Pick up here. Yeah, and here's that. So that's my little collection here, and some piggybacked thoughts on top of it. In closing, I am very much looking forward to exploring some more of this author, and I will put those audiobooks in the description of this video. I just have to copy their links and post them in my notes. There is also another one that he wrote that was turned into a mini-series. It's called The Perfect Spy. I have that one on order from my local half-price books. The book from, I've seen a review done on it, but without going into spoilers, because the guy doing the video doesn't really do much spoilers. The book is written about a man. You can kind of maybe say it might be a stand-in for John Le Carre himself. It's about a man who we see flashbacks of his life. We see him as a little boy with his father, then we see him as a spy, and then we see him like retired, and the book flips back and forth around the time and place, whereas the mini-series, it's basically done in order. We see him as a little boy, see him growing up, him being a spy, and then him retiring. So the series is more chronological, whereas the book is all over the place. And until then, I will be making a follow-up on this where I'll show you some of the others as they come in. But until then, what is your favorite Le Carre novel? Comment below. Or have you seen Perfect Spy? Or what are your thoughts on the Alex Guinness shows? Honestly, if they should have done a adaptation with him of Honorable Schoolboy at some point in time beforehand. It's like that would have been a perfect opportunity to have done all 3. I feel like I don't understand why they skipped that one instead of just doing Smileys People. They could have done all 3, but anyway, that's just my thoughts. But anyway, Until then, take care. I'll see you all next time with another video, and signing off for now.